20% of our budget is our overhead. And that's in large part due to the fact that I'm a pastor at Concordia Macungie. Mark is a pastor at St. Lucas in St. Louis, which is an amazing thing when you think of all of this work that's being organized while he's caring for and shepherding a congregation. It's really an amazing thing. So I left out Montreal. India, Montreal, St. Louis, Honduras, yeah. It's an amazing thing that God is doing and how he's been able to use the gifts that he entrusted each one of us for his mission. About a year ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, the board of directors met. We were looking at who we are as a district and all the things that we could or would like to do as a district in mission. We also are aware of the demographics of the culture in which we live. There's a big shift from all of these baby boomers who are aging and passing on their wealth to the next generation. And so we want to be smart and good stewards of what God has entrusted to us. I don't know, is there a... Oh, there it is. How about that? So anyway, our theme is called, I've made you a light for the nations, that you might bring salvation to the ends of the earth. We are called to be light, and God has commanded us, I've made you to be a light for the nations. Where do I point that thing at?
At Ray.
At Ray? Ray, can you just lean on that button a little bit? I don't know how to make this work.
What are you pushing?
I'm pushing the little arrow.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
And so the board met and we discussed the possibility of pursuing a capital campaign. In order then to plant churches and schools, that this is how the church grows, this is how the SELC has grown and prospered. I've said this in other contexts as well. If the SELC district had not planted that third of the district 20 and 30, 40 years ago, there would be no SELC district today. The most active, the greatest stewardship of the district comes from most of those little green leaves that have come off of that tree, the fruit of that. And so we want to continue to do that. It's to take the resources God has entrusted to the people and the congregations of our district and invest them in the next generation of church planting and growth. The goal that we've talked about is $2 million. And again, because we're part-time, half-time, and not, trained, financial facilitators, we reached out to experts in the St. Louis area, and we came up with John Shadle and John Bush. It's Walter and Lewis Associates. Thank you very much. And the most exciting part of this for me is the first time I met John Bush. He comes to me and he starts telling me what an awesome district we have. And he starts listing off the missions that we do, the way that we financially steward the resources of our district. And basically he said, I got to tell more people about this SELC district, And so in that conversation, though, we wanted to take time to say, is this realistic? Is this something that we really can do and in a meaningful way? The one caveat I'll say is that we're not looking to take money from any congregation personally, but we also recognize that congregations are made up of people who love Jesus and love Christ's church and are excited about the mission of the church. And so that's why we have invited John and John to be here. You should have received, or there should be on the table, some surveys, and they're going to talk about that with you today.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
In 2022, at your last convention, I was part of the delegation from the Way Church as you accepted the Way Church, as a congregation, in your district and in the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. Prior to leaving for the convention that morning, my wife said to me, "John, don't volunteer for anything." Later that day, I met Pastor Larson in the narthex of his church. And as we began talking and he found out a lot about my background, he said, "Oh, you can help us with our stewardship committee." So when I got home, I said, I didn't volunteer for anything, but I sure got roped into something. Part of our fundraising effort is the beginning, is building a foundation. It's finding out, is this feasible? And when we enter into a fundraising campaign, we begin with something called a feasibility study or a campaign readiness study. This is done to gauge the interest and level of interest of donors, of congregations, of leaders within the district as the campaign moves forward. Our next step right now is you have received, I hope you received at the registration desk right before as you came in this afternoon, this survey. If not, you can pick some more up there. When you fill them out, drop them off at that desk or hand them to Pastor Shadle or myself. And this is a tool that we are going to use to determine campaign readiness or feasibility. Additionally, Pastor Shadle and I, in partnership with our campaign committee and the leadership of the SELC district, we're going to meet with you. We're going to meet with you, your congregations, influencers, leaders, donors within your congregations, and others that may be interested in support of this campaign. The idea in raising $2 million is to find or obtain $1 million in pledges that will be used to match another $1 million raised. And remember, as we move forward always, this is your campaign.
So as we collect your surveys, and the surveys are critical because this is your campaign, we need to know what you think. Where do you think the SELC should create a new church or a new school? What state, what location? Because again, as we all know, location, location, location is what this is about in connecting the gospel to the people of this world. So as soon as you can complete that survey, drop it off with us. If you know of people who might be interested in this type of outreach within the SELC, let us know. Let Pastor Larson, President Banofskas know. But that's what this is all about. As we collect this information from individual visits and the surveys, we come to a point where there's a no, go, go decision. We would present a report to the leadership that says, yes, within the SELC there is enough interest and there's enough possibilities for gifts that we can move ahead with this. And it's a 3-year process to complete these campaigns. If in the process we find out that no, the churches are not ready yet of the SELC, then that's okay, because we've planted the seed for you to think about doing this going forward. And that's what we do in this process. We work on, for the next months, is it possible for us to proceed? What do we need to do? And then if in that process we decide yes, with God's blessing and his time, we'll go forward. But in there, we're then finally, if you say go, it's time to go. We're going to be out with those of you who have ideas of people to visit. We're not asking you to make the ask. We're asking you to help with the relationship, because it's all about relationships. And in that process, set up the position where you could introduce us to people. You could get excited, get them excited about the SELC, and then we could help guide you in how to make the ask. Because if you don't ask, they don't come. If you don't ask, they don't give. Especially if you don't have a clear vision of where to go and what you're going to do. And so, those 3 points. We need your information, your ideas on location. Whether it's a church or a school, what would work? Who are people that might be interested? And then how do we put this together as a church? And we would continue to coach you as much as we could.
So I'll just conclude by saying I have a lot of respect for these gentlemen. I think they're very good at their craft. And if you look up their resume sometime, I think you're going to find that to be the same thing. If you're in the St. Louis area, or if you happen to be in the same city as either of these gentlemen, but this has happened mostly with me and John Bush, have lunch with him, and he's going to shower you with more ideas and encouragement in that lunch than you could ever imagine. So it's a pleasure to know John and his excitement for the ministry and for the gospel. And I'll just want to conclude with this. I've been telling people, what's going on in my life. Well, my son just got married right before Christmas, so that was exciting. But just like not that many months ago, my daughter is in her middle 20s, and she just wasn't meeting anybody, And I was ready to say, maybe you need to do this online dating thing, sweetie, because you're just not meeting anybody. But then she works at a Lutheran school, and then some of the other teachers happen to be seminary wives, and pretty soon she was set up with a seminary student. And I kind of had an unwritten rule that I didn't really want my daughter, to be marrying a seminarian and become a pastor, because, I don't know, it's not going to be easy, and who knows where they're going to end up. I never shared that with her, unfortunately. Well, so now they're engaged. They're going to get married in June, right before they go off to vicarage. But her fiance is named Nathan. The seminary does their personality profiles. If you're from St. Louis, they give you a bird. Nathan is a parrot, talkative, fun, and so we have grown to love Nathan. But one of the things that I really love about Nathan, it's one of those idiosyncrasies that's kind of unique to him, just out of the blue, no matter what it is. The other day we were chipping ice off of someone's driveway, and when he'd get the shovel in there, he's a farm boy from Michigan, he would get that shovel under the ice, and a big chunk would come up, and he would say, "Let's go." So, SELC District, let's go.
Thank you, John, and Mark, and Luke. Oh, Luke alone is not with us anymore. It's an exciting opportunity to be in mission and ministry in the SELC district. People look at us and they have a stereotype of this old, ancient, non-geographic district. And the kind of work that we do, I'm so proud of all of the pastors who serve in our district and the missionary focus and zeal that we have corporately. It is, what time is it? It should be 2:15. 2:45. Look at that. We are 9 minutes ahead of schedule. So we're going to sit here for no, we're not. We have a break until 3:15, and because I'm giving you 9 ahead, give me 5 back when you come back. So 10 after 3, make your way back. We have some special guests to introduce, and then we have some actual work that we need to do as a convention after 3:30.